Whenever an exposed skin area, which is matte paint, is in contact with another different part with different darker color, the risk of paint transfer is very high, and it has already happened on this figure of mine over here, slightly a bit of it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, today with a scale figure review from Amakuni. So this figure right here you're looking at, I actually purchased her way back last year, which was around, exactly a year ago. I bought her back in October or November last year. However, I've never really gotten around to review her because back then I was using a different setup at my home, and no matter how hard I tried to film this figure over here, the videos wouldn't look very good because her jacket is responsible for casting shadows to all over the figure, all over her body and her legs, that it is very difficult to photograph or film this figure as a video without proper lighting and space to do it. My older setup was fairly dark and high contrast with the setting because I had limited space. That was the best I could do back then, but now things are a bit different, and after getting the more important figures out of the way when it comes to reviewing, like those Genshin Impact stuff, finally it is the turn of this figure. I have reached her turn and it's time to review her. So here we are, Amakuni's 1/7 scale rider class Altria Pendragon Alter from 5th Grand Order. Quite a mouthful, and some of you who are not that familiar with the 5th series might call this a Saber Alter. Well, her actual name is Altria Pendragon, and for each character in the 5th series, they can be under any class. The one you normally know from the Fate Stay Night anime, that is Saber class, but this one right here is Altria as a rider class servant. So that is how it is. I have reviewed another figure of her before, made by Alter. Yes, that one was the same character as this one over here, but the difference was Alter's version was more of an original character design, the initial design for the rider class of Altria Alter. And this one over here is the 3rd Ascension version. So that's all the difference, but they are the same character. With the 3rd Ascension, she has upgraded from a pistol to a sniper rifle. Yeah, very nice. And she gains a giant jacket or coat behind her. I do like this character design a lot, but before we speak about the figure, I would like you guys to take a quick look at her box. So this is what her box looks like actually for a figure that is over 20,000 yen, which to me is slightly on the higher side for the price of a figure. I mean, if this was released today, in year 2022 or 2023, this might even be a 30,000 yen figure, but she was released for 20,000 yen more than a year ago, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, so this is considered a relatively high-end or expensive figure by the standards of 2 years ago. When I take this fact into account, I would say this is not a very good box for a high-end, high-quality figure like this one. It should be better than a flimsy box like this. I'm not going to question that it looks very nice, but other than that, this is not a very good quality box. However, Amakuni has never been known for high-quality boxes either. The only one exception I could think of was Helena Blavatsky, which I reviewed almost 2 years ago during the early days I started this channel. This is a very tough, high-quality box. Amakuni as a figure brand is one that I highly look up to. I do see them as among the best in the Japanese figure market, together with Alter and a few others. They are like in my top 5 favorites. So whenever I buy something from Amakuni, I do have very high expectations. Fortunately, this figure turns out to meet my expectations for most of the part. The sculpture of this figure is very nice, like very accurate to what we see in the original artwork, as well as the prototype photos, the official product photos. That face, that gentle smile but with confidence over there, that is very nice and refreshing to see on a figure with a saber face. While the torso, the body of the figure might not be anything special from the front, once you remove her jacket or her coat, you will be impressed by what you're looking at behind her. Her back is very detailed in sculpture, the body anatomy is amazing to look at. The quality control on this figure is mostly good. I couldn't find any issues related to paint work such as paint scratches, paint bleeding or blotches, stuff like that. I couldn't find any. The seam lines are also mostly fine. There are no ugly seam lines or adhesive glue stains, none of that sort on this figure. However, with this figure's character design, when it is being translated into an actual figure, there are problems where you might not be able to avoid. And the biggest issue with this figure has to do with this giant jacket behind her. The jacket only sits on top of her shoulders without any holes or pegs to plug into. And this is genius design. I don't like to see any random holes on the figure's body just to plug something into. And despite that, this jacket does not really fall off very easily. It is very stable. So the design here is excellent, but the side effect is that there is a very high risk of paint transfer. Whenever an exposed skin area, which is matte paint, is in contact with another different part with different darker color, the risk of paint transfer is very high. And it has already happened on this figure of mine over here, slightly a bit of it on the back of her left shoulder. Of course, if you want to remove that paint stain on her shoulder, it is possible with Mr. Hobby's leveling thinner, if you do it very carefully. So this is something unavoidable, unfortunately, unless you display the figure without the jacket at all. You keep the jacket in the box, then you can avoid this paint transfer. Or perhaps you insert some plastic films inside the jacket before you put it on the figure. That is also an option. You put some plastic films inside there. Both the rifle and the sword slot underneath her hands with just the right amount of tightness as well. They actually don't fall off very easily as long as the figure is fully plugged into the base. So you'll see the quality control is impeccable in the sense that every single part and their fittings, they are very precise. And this is something I'm very happy to see, because should I choose to take apart my figure and put back into the box because I don't want to display it anymore, I have the option to do so without risking breaking something when I'm taking the figure apart. You do get metal foot pegs in both legs. This should be standard and compulsory in scale figures by today. Well, Kotobukiya still doesn't do it, however. And lastly, for the base design of this figure, I neither like it nor hate it, though of course I would prefer something more similar to a diorama rather than a plain round disc base. Of course, diorama bases are very rare nowadays. At the end of this review, is this figure of Altria Pendragon worth purchasing? Well, an absolute yes, and even better news is that this figure isn't very difficult to find despite being released more than a year ago. And the price hasn't gone up that substantially as well. So if you were to pick up one of these today, yeah, it is still a very good purchase, and it all depends on whether you like the character design of this Saber over here. Well, not exactly Saber, but you get what I mean. Your other option is of course Alter's version, but that version by Alter, the price has gone up significantly. So this one over here by Amakuni might not be a bad value proposition. This is a very good alternative, unless you are fixated on the Alter's version or you don't like this character design over here. So what do you think about this figure of Altria Pendragon? Please do let me know down in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.